From a river fire in Moscow that threatened the Russian capital, and a frightening crash in Vancouver that left these pilots treading water, to a skilled helicopter pilot who dumped gallons of water on this California wildfire, and an earthquake in Nepal that rattled the entire country. Here are 12 incredible moments caught on camera. When it was built in 1963, the Arosibo Telescope in Puerto Rico was the world's largest single-aperture telescope. It featured a 1,000-foot spherical reflector and several movable antenna structures, allowing the telescope to track celestial objects in space. The Arecibo Observatory helped scientists map the stars until 2017, when Hurricane Maria damaged the telescope. Some wanted to decommission and tear down the observatory, while others wanted to rebuild it. Then, in August of 2020, their minds were made up for them. An auxiliary cable snapped, followed by the main cable on November 7th. Everyone finally agreed to tear it down, but the telescope decided to go out on its own terms. That's what it looks and sounds like when a 900-ton object fails and falls over 400 feet to the treetops. Coincidentally, an observation drone was inspecting the structure moments before it came crashing down. Imagine how much tension those cables must be under. One of them snaps, and then the whole thing explodes under pressure. The drone turns as we watch the final cable snap, revealing dust clouds rising from the destruction below. The telescope collapsed on December 1st of 2020, shortly after the National Science Foundation agreed to tear it down via controlled demolition. Thankfully, the inspectors hadn't arrived yet, and nobody was hurt when the telescope collapsed. If you look on Google Maps, you can see what remains of the 1,000-foot dish. As of 2025, there are no plans to rebuild the Arecibo telescope. Salihorsk, Belarus is a large town in the Minsk region. It's home to about 100,000 people as of 2025, many of whom remember the apocalyptic dust cloud from 10 years prior. It was mid-April of 2015. The weather was just starting to warm after another freezing winter. That's when a cold front near the southern border with Ukraine kicked up a massive dust cloud that blanketed the entire city. Watch as the thick dust quickly blocks out the sun, turning day to night in under 60 seconds.
Смотри, ужас дикий. Пыль, ничего не видно, вообще жесть. Ураган. Смотри, все, от домов не видно стало. Ё-моё! Ёп-моё!
Оторвало.
Ничего себе!
На заправке оторвало, гляди уже.
Жесть! Капец, ночь. Ужас. Все, ночь. Сколько? 5 часов, да? Жесть.
Now imagine how dangerous something like this can be when it surprises you. One minute, you're driving on a bright spring day. The next, you don't even see your hand in front of your face. Thankfully, nobody was hurt during the dust storm, though there were reports of some minor property damage. These ominous occurrences are called haboobs, which roughly means intense red dust storm in Arabic. They're rare for this time of year in Belarus and are far more common in drier climates like the Middle East, Mongolia, and the Midwestern United States. Cole Harbour is a small coastal neighborhood in Vancouver, British Columbia. It's home to about 10,000 people, many of whom enjoy their summer afternoons on the water. On June 8th of 2024, a couple was getting ready to leave on a cruise ship when they spotted a seaplane preparing for takeoff. While waiting to board, they decided to film the plane as it raced across Vancouver Harbor and took to the skies. Instead, they captured this near catastrophe on camera.
Oh my God.
Rescue boats arrived moments later to pull two injured people from the speedboat. Some reports described their injuries as serious but non-life-threatening. They also said the pilot and those on board the plane escaped unharmed. The crash had many people asking who had the right of way, the boat or the plane. Marine rules state that boaters must give way to vessels on their right. More importantly, they must also leave room for vessels restricted in their ability to maneuver, such as large ships or seaplanes. The crash occurred in a designated landing and takeoff zone called Area Alpha. Boaters are technically allowed in the area, but the Port Authority would prefer if they stayed away. It's dangerous. Accidents like this are easier than you might think. They'll likely be using this video to prove their point. Midget car racing dates back to the mid-1930s when daredevils hopped inside tiny vehicles with more horsepower than they could probably handle. Midget racing combines high speeds with extremely lightweight cars. One little bump, and these 900-pound cars can easily go airborne. On May 21st of 2013, a midget race at the Paris Auto Speedway in Southern California got off to a hot start. The number 43 driver was humming around the track, looking to set a new personal record when he pushed things a little too far.
Did you? It's coming in, it's coming in. Stay still. There we go. Good job. Good job, coming this way.
By the time the bulldozer had lowered the car, the driver was safe with 2 feet on the ground. And we couldn't find any information about the crash online, though it appears the driver was unharmed and in good spirits. Midget racing is dangerous by nature. The cars typically feature a 4-cylinder engine capable of pushing between 300 and 400 horsepower. Most competitive models can hit a top speed of about 45 miles per hour. Meanwhile, the cars themselves only weigh about 900 pounds. To put that in perspective, the famous Bugatti Royale, built in 1932, ran on 300 horsepower while weighing a whopping 7,000 pounds. Enchilium, Washington is a small town in Ferry County located within the Colville Indian Reservation. It's home to the annual Indian Relay, a 2-day horse race sponsored by the Sugar Bowl Rodeo Association. The 2023 event got off to a hot start on July 1st when horses went around the track during the Chiefs race. As they came around the second turn, a late entry into the race showed up on the track and threatened to upend the entire show.
That was a good start right there, boys. We got Terrence Holford. He's in the lead. He's in Aerial Lakes. We got Thunder Wolf in second. We got Riley in third. Riley Prescott in third. Oh, look at that dust devil. They're going to be riding through that dust devil. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Gas it, boys. Gas it.
Oh my God.
Woo-hoo-hoo! Money in the bank. Look at that. That is awesome. Here they come down the stretch. We got Terrence in the T-series. Terrence. Your hometown racing.
The race may have been over, but the massive dust devil was still heading toward the crowd.
I said go the other way. Don't come this way. How is everybody out there? Everybody be safe. Oh man! Hang in there!
Nobody was hurt when the dust devil threw tents and loose objects all over the event ground. In the video, you can even see someone's lawn chair flying away like a bird. The tiny twister left about as quickly as it came. When it was over, everybody dusted off, reset their chairs, and got ready for the next race. It was July 9th of 2023. Crystal and Gary, a couple from Manteca, California, were on their way to lunch when they saw a stressed mama duck quacking at a drainage grate. Suddenly, Crystal felt her inner mom sense tingling. She could tell that something was wrong and asked her husband Gary to see if the ducklings had fallen through the grate. He didn't hesitate to jump into the sewer and begin an impromptu rescue mission.
Your baby's fall down here.
Where's she at?
Here's your baby. Oh my gosh. Oh wait, there's more. There's more. There's more.
Oh my gosh, one's dead.
No. Did you just step on it?
No. Oh my gosh.
Oh, oh.
Skylar, stay in the car.
Go, go, go. Yeah. There you go, Mama Duck.
After the rescue, Crystal and Gary went to lunch, then returned to the area to see how the ducks were doing. They counted only 7 of the 8 they rescued. Sadly, there had been another duckling casualty involving the nearby parking lot. While plenty of people appreciated their rescue, wildlife officials said they should have called a local animal rehab or rescue shelter. According to Crystal and Gary, that won't stop them from checking every drainage grate in town for lost ducklings in the future. The Indus River is a 2,000-mile waterway stretching from the Tibetan Plateau to the Arabian Sea. As it flows through northern Pakistan, it breaks off to form the Duber-Kwar River. From there, the Duber-Kwar snakes toward the district of Kohistan, known locally as the Land of Mountains. In September of 2022, record-setting flash floods in Pakistan left the country underwater. They impacted 33 million people, destroyed close to 1 million buildings, and flooded over 8,000 miles of roads. Footage from Kohistan shows what happened when the Duber burst its banks and flooded the scenic area. This first clip shows the valley on a typical summer day. Now here's what it looks like after. This footage was taken by a local statistical assistant named Saad. He was heartbroken and powerless as the flood ravaged his homeland. While he was safe on the cliff, those downstream were not so lucky. Countless people lost their homes, their businesses, and their lives. The UN described the Pakistani floods as a monsoon on steroids. The country saw between 500 and 750% more water than expected in a typical August or September. According to the Pakistani Minister of Climate Change, 1/3 of the country was underwater, and there wasn't enough dry land to pump the water out. The Moskva River is a 294-mile waterway flowing through western Russia. It rises about 90 miles west of Moscow, flows through the capital city, and empties into the Volga River. On August 12th of 2015, those living in the Russian capital could see a thick plume of black smoke rising over the Moskva. An underwater oil pipe had ruptured and caught fire, setting the water's surface ablaze. The fire burned for 15 minutes and stretched roughly 300 feet downriver before firefighters could get it under control. The ruptured pipe was managed by a state-run oil company called Transneft. They claimed the leak caused jet kerosene, gasoline, and diesel to spill into the water. Then, a fire on a nearby patch of grass spread to the river and ignited the oil slick. The smoke rose about 200 meters, or over 650 feet, into the air, making it visible from St. Basil's Cathedral, roughly 12 miles away in the heart of Moscow. On April 25th of 2015, a powerful 7.8 magnitude earthquake struck 5 miles underground near the Nepali capital of Kathmandu. It was among the most devastating natural disasters of all time, claiming nearly 9,000 lives in Nepal, India, China, and Bangladesh. Footage inside Kathmandu shows dozens of people enjoying a perfectly normal day in the capital. Then, without warning, the earthquake strikes, proving once again how random Mother Nature can be. The 2015 earthquake was the strongest to hit Nepal in 80 years. It also triggered an avalanche on Mount Everest that claimed 22 climbers, making it the deadliest day in Everest's history. 2 significant aftershocks struck the region within 24 hours of the main quake. The first measured 6.6, and the second measured 6.7 on the Richter scale. Dozens of smaller aftershocks followed over the next several days, until a major 7.3 tremor struck 47 miles outside Kathmandu. The main quake and its aftershocks were caused by thrust faulting beneath the Himalayas. Inconceivable amounts of pressure had been building below the Eurasian and Indo-Australian plates for decades. It was only a matter of time before it popped. In 2017, California wildfires burned nearly 1.6 million acres, destroyed over 10,000 structures, and triggered just under 500,000 emergency response calls. One of those calls came in on December 16th of 2017, when a fire in Contra County threatened several homes. It began on Sherman Island, a marshy area known for fishing and windsurfing. A grass fire was threatening several homes in the area, meaning the Contra County Fire Department was in a race against time. To help, the sheriff's office sent up their Star 1 firefighting helicopter to scoop water from the nearby river and dump it over the vulnerable land. Watch as the pilot relies on timing and accuracy to keep the fire from spreading. The Star Chopper, or the Sheriff's Tactical Airborne Reconnaissance and Rescue Chopper, conducts routine patrols of the local waterways. The pilots spend most of their time providing aerial coverage during boat-related stops. But when the fire department calls, they're among the first people above the scene. The bucket in the footage can hold 144 gallons of water. A few accurate passes can prevent the fire from spreading further. In this case, the flames came within 40 yards of someone's home before Star One put them out. Ranmala is a small Indian village near the Nazare Dam in the central state of Maharashtra. They don't usually have tornadoes on their minds. That's because none had ever struck until June of 2018. The locals didn't know what to think when this mile-high vortex appeared outside their homes. Some of them ran inside for cover, but this brave cameraman held his ground to record.
बापरे ही बघ अरे बाप काय काय अयो
According to the Indian Center for Citizen Science, this was the first tornado to strike the Maharashtra region. Some locals were so confused that they thought some kind of supernatural phenomenon was happening right before their eyes. Thankfully, their first ever tornado encounter wasn't anything like the storms we see in the United States. According to reports, the twister ripped the tin roof off of a cattle shed and damaged some petrol pumps. Otherwise, everyone and everything was okay. The EF0 storm lasted about 2 minutes and only covered a radius of about 1,000 meters. Airbus is among the world's largest airplane manufacturers. With factories all over Europe, the company needs a way to transport oversized components such as wings and body sections to their final assembly lines. This is where the Beluga comes in. The Airbus Beluga may look like the silliest plane in the sky, but it plays a significant role in airline manufacturing. Watch how this one battles a violent crosswind while landing at the Hawarden Airport in Wales on February 19th of 2020. Crosswind landings are one of the most complex maneuvers a pilot can execute. Flying a giant beluga whale-shaped plane doesn't make them any easier. Notice how the Airbus looks when it's flying sideways as it lands. That's because the pilot is turning into the wind to maintain the center line. When the rear wheels touch, the pilot lets off, allowing the wind to push the beluga into its final landing position. So, next time you see a whale falling sideways out of the sky, just know that the pilot knows exactly what they're doing. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more just like it, be sure to click the link on screen now. With that, thank you all for watching, and we hope to see you in the next one.